Diane von Fürstenberg has always been known as the woman who taught other women how to be free. But this time, it's her own definition of freedom that's breaking the internet. At 78 years old, the legendary fashion designer posted something so intimate, so deeply personal, that it left even the most jaded corners of social media speechless. On October 26, Diane took to Instagram to mark what she called the Big Bang, not a cosmic event, but the day she fell in love with her husband, billionaire media tycoon Barry Diller. She wrote, "Today is the 50th anniversary of the Big Bang, the day Barry and I fell in love. He opened the door of his heart and never closed it. The first day of a long, colorful, happy journey. Unconditional love. Thank you, BP." The caption was poetic, heartfelt, nostalgic, tender. But it was also shocking. Because just months earlier, Barry Diller had publicly come out as gay. So when Diane celebrated 50 years of unconditional love, the world didn't quite know how to react. Was this a love story that transcended labels, or a reminder that even the most glamorous marriages can hide contradictions? No matter which side you're on, one thing is clear: this wasn't a PR stunt or a polished brand statement. It was something raw, a declaration of a love that doesn't fit in a box. The fashion queen and the media king. To understand why this moment feels so powerful, you have to go back, long before the fame, the billions, and the wrap dress that changed everything. In the early 1970s, Diane von Fürstenberg was a 20-something Belgian princess who had just divorced her aristocratic husband, Prince Egon von Fürstenberg. Most women in her position would have retreated into quiet luxury. But not Diane. She had fire. She had vision. She moved to New York City and launched her own fashion line from her apartment. Her signature piece, the wrap dress, became an instant phenomenon. It wasn't just a dress. It was a revolution. It was affordable, flattering, and sensual without being scandalous. It gave women permission to feel powerful, independent, and sexy, all at once. By 1974, Diane was on the cover of Newsweek, labeled the most marketable woman since Coco Chanel. Meanwhile, Barry Diller was crafting an empire of his own, behind the scenes of Hollywood and American television. He was one of the most influential executives in entertainment history, building careers, creating networks, and shaping the media landscape as we know it. He founded Fox Broadcasting, helped birth MTV and Paramount Pictures' golden age, and later became chairman of IAC, the parent company behind some of the internet's most powerful brands. They met in this whirlwind, she, the queen of fashion, he, the architect of media. It was the 1970s, an era of excess, glamour, and rebellion. Diane was bold, outspoken, magnetic. Barry was brilliant, confident, quietly commanding. They became instant soulmates, and also, instant complications. Because both of them were larger than life. Both were ambitious, both fiercely independent, both allergic to being tamed. Their romance burned hot, fizzled, reignited, and lingered for decades like an unresolved melody neither could stop humming. Decades of distance and connection. Over the years, Diane and Barry's lives took separate paths, yet always seemed to intertwine. Diane dated other powerful men, raised 2 children, and built one of the most enduring fashion brands in history. She became a feminist icon, not for her slogans, but for her lived philosophy, that a woman's power begins with how she defines herself. Barry, meanwhile, stayed largely out of gossip columns. He dated privately, worked obsessively, and rose to become one of the wealthiest and most influential men in America. But through it all, Diane and Barry kept coming back to each other. Even when they weren't together romantically, they remained deeply connected. Diane once said, "We were always friends, and then we were always more than friends. I don't even know what to call it." It was a love story that didn't need to be labeled, until, finally, in 2001, after decades of friendship, separation, and reunion, they got married. To outsiders, it looked like a storybook ending, the designer and the billionaire, 2 icons finally uniting. But those who knew them understood that their marriage wasn't traditional. It wasn't built on dependency or social expectation. It was built on something quieter and rarer: mutual respect, emotional intimacy, and a shared understanding that not all love needs to look alike. The confession that shocked the world. Fast forward to 2024. Barry Diller, now 82, released his long-awaited memoir, Who Knew? A rare glimpse into a man who had spent decades avoiding personal headlines. In one excerpt published by New York Magazine, he dropped a revelation that stunned both the business and entertainment worlds. Barry Diller, the mogul, the husband, the titan of industry, revealed that he was gay. He shared how, at age 16, he had his first sexual experience with another boy. "Of course, I didn't tell anyone," he wrote. "I didn't even tell myself. I thought, I did that once, I don't have to do it again. But then, a month later, I did it again. And then I knew." It was an unexpectedly tender confession, a window into the confusion and secrecy of growing up gay in a time when it wasn't accepted. But what truly stunned readers was the next line. "Yes, I also liked guys," he said, "but that was not a conflict with my love for Diane. I can't explain it to myself or to the world. In some cosmic way, we were destined for each other." It was one of those sentences that makes people stop scrolling. It didn't fit any category: not straight, not gay, not open, not platonic. It was something else entirely. And just like that, their marriage, long seen as unconventional, was thrust into the center of a very modern conversation about love, identity, and truth. A marriage that defied definition. When the headlines hit, some people rushed to label it open marriage, mutual understanding, emotional partnership. But Diane's reaction wasn't defensive or explanatory. It was simple. It was pure. She posted her anniversary message. She thanked Barry. She called their journey colorful and their love unconditional. There were no clarifications, no justifications, just a quiet reminder that love, real love, isn't something you have to explain. For Diane, this wasn't a shock. Those close to her say she's always known exactly who Barry is, and loved him for it. Their relationship has never been about roles or appearances. It's about energy, loyalty, and shared purpose. In interviews, Diane often describes love as freedom, and perhaps that's what makes this story so different. Her version of love isn't possession, it's choice. It's the ability to see someone fully, flaws and all, and still say, "I choose you." The internet reacts. Online, reactions were as divided as you'd expect. Some called it Hollywood's most authentic love story. Others accused it of being performative, or convenient, or simply outdated. If he's gay, one comment read, "Why is she still calling it a love story?" But others saw beauty in it. "Maybe it's not about sexuality," one user wrote. "Maybe it's about connection. These two people found their soulmate, and that doesn't have to mean what we think it means." For a generation obsessed with defining identity, this story felt almost radical. A woman who refuses to label her love, a man who refuses to apologize for it, and a bond that seems to exist outside of social rules. In a way, Diane and Barry have become symbols of something new, a kind of evolved love that prioritizes emotional truth over traditional structure. The power behind their empire. Beyond their marriage, their partnership has shaped industries. Together, they've donated millions to public parks, the arts, and education. Their most famous project, the futuristic Little Island Park in New York City, stands as a physical symbol of their shared creativity. Even now, Diane remains a global ambassador for women's empowerment. Her foundation supports female entrepreneurs and young leaders around the world. Barry continues to back creative ventures and cultural institutions, quietly using his wealth to shape the world's future. Their lives are proof that love can manifest not only in romance, but in legacy, in impact, in creation. Love beyond labels. What makes this story so captivating isn't just who they are, it's what they represent. Diane von Fürstenberg and Barry Diller are two people who seem to have transcended the ordinary boundaries of gender, marriage, and sexuality. They've built a partnership that's about soul, not definition. To some, that sounds confusing. To others, it sounds like freedom. Maybe their relationship is romantic. Maybe it's platonic. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's neither. But after 50 years, it's still alive, and that's what matters. Their love challenges everything we think we know about marriage. It asks uncomfortable questions. Can you love someone completely without being in a traditional relationship? Can a straight woman and a gay man still be soulmates? And does love lose its meaning when it stops looking the way we expect? Diane and Barry's story doesn't answer those questions, it simply invites us to consider them. A legacy written in love. Today, Diane and Barry continue to live their lives on their own terms, elegant, private, intertwined. They don't perform for the cameras or try to fit into anyone's expectations. Their bond has survived longer than most celebrity marriages, longer than most business partnerships, longer than many friendships. And maybe that's the point. In a world obsessed with perfection, labels, and social rules, their story stands out as something refreshingly human, imperfect, complicated, but undeniably real. 50 years later, Diane still calls him the love of my life. And Barry, in his own way, says the same. Maybe it's not the kind of love story we're used to, but maybe it's the kind we need right now. One that reminds us that love doesn't have to fit a template to be true. It just has to endure. And somehow, against every odd, there still does.